Oh shoot, dude. What the hell are you doing here?
Oh, yeah, I was just in the area, so I thought I'd drop in. See how you're liking the 0202.
Dude, how the hell did you get in here?
Bathroom window was open, so I just crawled in through there. Pretty easy. By the way, your AC was like not even on, man. It is hot in here. I had to crank that. These chips are pretty good. Okay, maybe not that one. Did you know that you only have basic cable?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
basic.
Sure.
So, dude, what do you want to watch on Netflix?
Okay. Not everything belongs in your living room. For a quiet and compact companion, check out the Node 202 from Fractal Design. You can find more info in the description below. What's up, guys? So in late June of this year, I began working on my very first custom water-cooled build. The next 2 months were filled with countless hours of painting, sleeving, bending, and assembling a high-end machine capable of smooth 4K gaming at high settings. The end result was Hotline, a retro powerhouse sporting a 5960X, 16 gigs of DDR4, and 2 GTX 980 Ti's in SLI. And while the spec sheet alone implied some extraordinary potential, I wouldn't be fully satisfied until I had hard evidence of its 4K capabilities. So today I'll be benchmarking Hotline for the first time to see what kind of gaming performance one can expect from this $5,000 water-cooled behemoth. Before we dive right into the benchmarks though, let's first take a look at the system's thermals and acoustics, as both are areas which should benefit greatly from custom liquid cooling. At idle, we saw the CPU float at around 19 degrees Celsius with the hottest core at 22, a whole degree colder than Ebenezer Scrooge. Under a typical gaming workload, the 5960X jumped up to 51 degrees, and with balls-to-the-wall stress testing in Prime 95, the hottest core on our 8-core chip maxed out at 82 degrees Celsius, with the average temp for all cores hitting a very respectable 73 degrees. Our GTX 980 Ti's idled at a frigid 36 degrees Celsius and max out at 51 degrees Celsius when gaming on a stable overclock. It should be noted here that the top card runs slightly warmer since the liquid cooling passing through it incurs some additional heat after first permeating the bottom card. Still, these results fall right in line with my expectations from a custom loop such as this one, making me one hell of a happy camper. What's more is that the system is able to achieve these superb thermal conditions while staying insanely quiet. Have a listen at the idle and load acoustics using the standard fan mode in AI Suite 3. As you could hear, or not hear, this rig is near dead silent, with almost no audible difference between idling and gameplay. I even had a hard time picking out any fan noise over the sound of the hard drive spinning platter. Surely an honorable mention goes to Fractal Design in this area for their Venturi high-pressure fans, which stay whisper quiet without sacrificing much of their cooling capacity. So now that we've talked thermals and acoustics, let's make our way over to the system's gaming performance, starting with our testing setup. The 5960X was pushed to 4400 MHz at 1.3 volts, and I was able to overclock the GTX 980 Ti's to a whopping 1480 MHz, with the memory clock receiving a more modest boost of 50 MHz. All tests were run using the latest 355.82 Wickle driver on Windows 8.1. The system underwent testing in 5 different AAA titles at max settings, with the exception of having MSAA disabled, as many would argue that its quality improvement is hardly noticeable at the higher pixel count of 4K. This makes its usage tough to justify given its heavy tax on system resources, which is why I've left it on the sidelines for this series of tests. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I now present to you the moment we've all been waiting for, so dim the lights, grab some popcorn, and let's check out all the 4K benchmarks for Hotline. Starting with Metro Last Light, we see crushing performance at 1080 and 1440, with average frame rates in the triple digits. It takes jumping up to 4K to see our average finally sink below 100, but still the 980 Ti's manage a very playable 78 FPS. In Hitman Absolution, we ran into some CPU bottlenecking, a conclusion we can quickly draw from near-identical frame rates across the various resolutions being tested. Even at 4K, the GPUs aren't being stressed enough for our overclocked 5960X to keep pace, which is quite a testament to the horsepower of our SLI setup. By the way, did I mention we're still hitting over 100 FPS on average at 4K? Oh yeah! GTA 5 presents yet another example of CPU bottlenecking, but this case varies slightly in that we see a noticeable performance hit when moving to 4K, indicating the 5960X has finally caught up with the 980 Ti's since they're now far too busy rendering those extra pixels. In Battlefield 4, we saw 200 FPS on average at 1080, no big deal, 165 FPS at 2K, and 78 frames per second at Ultra HD. I'm also rather amused that our minimum frame rate at 4K landed above 60 FPS. It just gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling inside that makes me giggle. Naturally, I thought it would be appropriate to save the most demanding game for last. Even with Hotline's arsenal of souped-up hardware, CRYSIS 3 gives it a run for its money, averaging 54 FPS at 4K. While this is still quite playable, until I acquire a G-Sync monitor, I'll probably stick with playing this game at 1440, where the screen tearing isn't as noticeable. Who am I kidding? I only own this game for benchmarking. Rounding out our benchmarks, I ran 3D Mark Firestrike Ultra because I could, and earned a ridiculous score of 8,271. Graphics Test 1 saw an average FPS of 54, with Test 2 coming in at 33 FPS. I'd also like to point out that this was the first time I've ever seen this test run where it didn't look like a bloody flipbook. And those are all the benchmarks. Overall, I am incredibly pleased with the final results, which have reassured me now that this PC will serve me well for my venture into 4K gaming. I'm also curious to know what you guys think of the performance here. Do the benefits of custom liquid cooling warrant the additional cost? When will we be finally ready for 4K? Tacos? Go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to toss me a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Also, don't forget, this is your last chance to enter the epic giveaway with Fractal Design. You could win a Define S, Edison M power supply, and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. What? So check the link in the description for details, yo. While you're down there, feel free to pick up a glorious shirt from the Awesome Sauce store, or bookmark my Amazon affiliate link and use it when you buy stuff. It helps me a lot. As always, I'm Kyle with Awesome Sauce Network. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see y'all in the next video.